Hello, and welcome to our special video training from Gym Engine on how to replace your lost members without any ad spend. So this special video training is based on what's happening in the world today and how you can recoup some of your lost memberships, because I know it's a problem right now. And cash is a hard commodity to come by, so sometimes you just need to bootstrap it without spending any money on ads. So what kind of results is this system getting that I'm going to show you? Well, one gym recently pulled in 50K in 1 week with $0 in ad spend. Now, I'm not saying that the same thing is going to happen to you, but this is just a look at what's possible. So they sent out some of the campaigns that I'm going to show you. They had 467 people reply as leads. And if you do the calculation of what a member's worth to you over the lifetime, that's nearly $500,000 in memberships that they've got the potential for. But they did manage to sell $50,000 in 1 week. And so all they did was use the strategies from this video, ran an orientation session for prospects that they funneled people into, and then they sold $50,000 worth of memberships. So again, not saying these are typical results, but this is what's possible when you put some power behind your marketing and sales processes. So who is this training for? This training is for gyms who have lost members due to COVID, or they have a lot of suspended members, people who said, just put me on hold for now until you're open again or until I feel comfortable coming back. If you've got members hesitant to come back, if they're just not sure if they even want to come back to the gym, and obviously you're losing cash because of that. And if you've done some marketing in the past and you have some assets, even small ones like an email list or a phone number list or people who have shown interest in the past, former members, just if you're keeping track of that kind of stuff, then that's going to go a long way to getting some really good results now. So the trees you planted 5 years ago may bear fruit today. And if you can handle simple computer operations, then this is for you too. If you're a complete technophobe, then this is not going to work for you. But if you can handle even just basic computer things like browsing the internet and using email platforms and things like that, then you should be just fine. So who this is not for. If you have a brand new business, this probably will not work for you. So if you're just starting out, I feel for you, but you may need to bootstrap it for a bit and reach out to your personal network and just try to get something going. If you've never done any marketing before because you're brand new or you've just resisted the idea of advertising and marketing in the past, then it's probably not going to work out that well for you right now. You need to do some advertising to get people in the door so you can build these assets that we're going to tap into. If you have no sales process or you can't sell, again, this isn't going to work for you. There's no magic solution that's going to get people to just open their wallet and hand you money. You need to be able to sell people. You have to have the confidence that if you get 10 people in front of you from your target market who are interested in health and fitness, that you're going to sell at least half of them. You have to have that confidence. And if you have a negative view of your customers or your market, this is also not for you. I've talked to some gym owners recently, and some of them just have a bad attitude. And I'm sorry to say that, but they're probably not going to make it because they believe that people in their market aren't willing to spend money on fitness. They're not willing to invest in their health. They believe that the world is horrible. And well, guess what? That's what they get to experience in life. Because if you believe that and you have a negative view of prospects and feel like they're just money grubbing, good for nothing, lazy people, then and not true human beings that need help, then there's not much I can do to help you here. And if you're not willing to try anything new, also not for you. This may be outside your comfort zone or some different things that you've tried before. But if you're in a situation where you need to try something, you need to do something to get cash moving again, then you got to be open to trying some new things. And if you don't want to put any effort, again, this isn't for you. And you probably feel like this with your prospects as well, in that if someone's not willing to put in some work and some effort, then there's not that much you can do to help them. Now, we've done everything we can to make this as easy and simple as possible, but I don't want to say that it's completely an easy button that you don't have to do anything. Anyone selling that type of solution is taking you for a ride, or they're picking your pocket because you're going to be paying them way, way more to do everything for you. So why doesn't everyone do the things I'm going to show you in this video? Well, a lot of them do, and the really successful gyms do have systems and processes like this, but they're not always willing to share them. And the question is, well, why isn't everyone in shape? Just like, why isn't everyone marketing and selling effectively? Well, they may not know what to do. People may not be in shape because they don't know what to do to get in shape. And if you don't know what to do to get your marketing in shape, then you just have no knowledge of the subject. Uh, they may try and get discouraged if it doesn't work right away. They don't want to put in the effort. They didn't make it a priority, and they didn't make it a part of every day. And so the things that succeed in fitness are the same things that succeed in business, is daily consistent effort and making it a priority that you're committed to. And so if you're not committed, then you're not going to get the results you want, just like in health, just like in life, just like in business. So here's what we'll get done in this video training. I'm going to show you 3 simple strategies that will bring in immediate cash and will forever. These are strategies you can use over and over again, multiple times a year, to bring in better and better results every time. You can tap into existing assets without spending money on ads. That's what we're going to accomplish today, is to show you how to use what you've got and be resourceful and get some sales without spending any money on advertising, and set you up for success when you are ready to advertise. So once you've got these systems and processes in place, then you can add jet fuel to it by putting some ad spend behind it and getting some really fantastic results, and keep that pipeline going. And this is what leads to true gym growth, is having the front end set up and the back end set up properly. And then I'm going to show you where to get more help if you need it. So at the end of this training, I'm going to show you if you need some help implementing some of this stuff. We've got some solutions to help you do that, and I'll show you that later. So the first phase we're going to talk about is getting referrals. So one of the easiest things you can do to bring cash in the door is to generate referrals from your current members. And so it's usually the easiest sale to make. When someone brings in their friend, they're already half sold. All you have to do is kind of not screw it up and you'll make the sale. And so if we can tap into that and get some referrals from the members you've already got, then you're going to have a great time with this. So the problem with most referrals is that they aren't orchestrated. And what I mean by that is that they aren't planned. You have no control over the situation. You have no control over the conversations that happen. They just happen when they happen. So someone refers you to a friend, the friend comes by, you make the sale, that's awesome, it's like gravy, but you didn't really do much to control that or to orchestrate that. And so you don't have control over when they happen, how they happen, and how many of them happen. But what if you could? What if you could orchestrate these conversations so that you're able to get referrals on demand? And that's what we're going to do. We're going to take power over this. That's why I included this stupid meme. We're going to control the conversation. We're going to take power and ownership over referrals, not just wait for them to float by. We're going to control the conversation around referrals. We're going to give a lot of value to the referral prospect, so to feel like they're getting a real friends and family discount or a real deal based on the amount of value you're going to give them. And we're going to reward your members, not in the sense of monetary, like we're giving them a commission or something like that, because we don't want to turn our people into salespeople. Most people don't feel comfortable selling, and that's just the reality of it. So we don't want to turn them into our salespeople and put them in uncomfortable situations with their friends. If they wanted to do that, they would join a multi-level marketing program or something like that. And so, but we're going to reward them with emotional rewards that are going to make them feel special and loved and cared for, and then we're going to do that. So. And we're also going to get referrals from your members, obviously. So that's the real key to this whole thing, is getting people to refer you. So here's what we're going to do. Here's the basic strategy. And so you can tell I kind of get right to the content. There's not a ton of fluff here. So a current member offer. So what we're going to do is you're going to send personalized texts to about 50 members each day, checking in to see if they and their loved ones are okay. So, pandemic's going on, or, whatever's going on in the world. And there's always something, it seems, every day is a different crisis. But we're going to see if they're okay. And we're only going to send 50 a day so you don't get overwhelmed with replies. I've made this mistake before where I accidentally sent campaigns to way too many people, got flooded with replies, and then it was like hours and hours of follow-up just trying to manage them all and make sure that they were all served properly. So you want to keep it slow at first, send 50 a day just to test the waters and see how many come back and how many conversations you can reasonably manage. So if they reply, let them know the impact that the pandemic has had, but that you're going to pull through and get back to where you were as soon as possible. So what you're going to do is you're just going to lead in with a nice conversational text to your members just to show them that you care, and then you're going to tell them that, we're fighting through this and we're going to be here for you. And then we're going to let them know about a special friends and family offer. So for example, you could have something like $100 for 10 classes, t-shirt, drink bottle, and towel. Hopefully you've already got that stuff that you could just hand out, ideally all branded with your name on it, and offer insane value. So you could tell them it's normally $220 for this package, but now it's only $100. And so for every member that refers someone, let them know about a special appreciation event that you'll hold as soon as you're allowed. So you want to make this a nice surprise. So you don't want to try to incentivize this too much, but you're going to give them a nice, beautiful surprise saying, hey, once we're allowed to do this again, if we're allowed to gather in groups like that, we're going to have this special event like a barbecue or a party or something like that for all the people that refer to us, just as a special thank you, and you're off to the races. So this seems very simple, but it's actually quite powerful because almost nobody does this. And so you could think intuitively like, yeah, of course this is going to work. Like, duh, this is such a simple concept. But these are some basics that most gyms don't do. And most local businesses in general don't do. They're not texting their customers trying to get more business out of them. It just doesn't happen. And so if you even do this small amount of effort, I guarantee you're going to see some results from this. So what kind of results is this getting? Well, one gym recently, even while closed, so they weren't even open, pulled in $10,000 in 14 days. And what they did was they sent, like we said, personalized texts each day to members, offered them a special $100 pass to their friends, sent text messages to warm leads in their database offering the same thing, and we'll get to that in phase 2. And they sold $10,000 worth of passes. So this happened very recently, and so I know that it's working, and I know it will work for you too. Phase 2. So this is the next part. So what we're going to do is leverage your list. So now that we've reached out to all your members and got some referrals from them, made some quick cash that way, we're going to leverage your warm leads. So these are people who showed interest in the past, or maybe they came for a trial class and never signed up, or they signed up as a lead and you never got a hold of them, or it just wasn't the right time. Sometimes people, they might be interested in changing their life through health and fitness, but then they realize that, it's not the right time in their life, or they got a lot going on, or they just kind of forget about it. But that doesn't mean they're not going to be ready a few months from now. So what we want to do is leverage those assets. And so what most gyms do and have done is this churn and burn mentality with leads. And so if you'll remember the big 6-week challenge craze from a few years ago, gyms were notoriously bad for this, where we were in a golden age of advertising where leads were so cheap that they were disposable. So if you could get a lead for $2 or $3 or something like that using a pretty basic ad and get all these leads coming in, you'd get hundreds and hundreds of leads. The ones that didn't respond, you just kind of forget about them because there were so many that were responding and signing up that it just didn't matter. And so leads were treated as disposable. And so I recently heard a phrase that good habits are developed in bad times and bad habits are developed in good times. And so when that was a good time a few years ago with all the 6-week challenges and things like that, when you could just get flooded with business. And bad habits were developed during that time where you get a lead, you follow up with them a little bit. If they don't respond, you just toss them in the bin. Or you just, worse yet, just throw them in a newsletter. Like you just throw them in a basic newsletter that you send every month, kind of a generic thing, but not really making any more offers, not really reaching out to them personally, just kind of dropping them in there. And if they sign up, they sign up. And if they don't, they don't. And a lot of gyms have limited follow-up. So there is usually 6 to 12 tries involved before you actually get a hold of someone. And so it's a real pain to do all this manually. And so if you've got some automated follow-up, then that's going to go a long way to getting people to respond so that you can get those 6 to 12 touch points before getting a hold of someone and starting a human conversation with them. Now, that's not to say you need to automate everything because I don't believe that you can 100% automate the sales process quite yet. But if you're reaching out to people in an automatic way, just trying to start an organic conversation, then eventually these people are going to respond. And so a lot of people give up too early. They'll call once, they'll email once, they'll text once, if that, and then decide, well, I guess they're just not interested and give up. Well, that's so far from the truth. It's crazy because sometimes people just forget, or they've got lives going on, or they're with their kids all day long and they can't answer the phone, or they're just stressed out. And if they just had someone who actually cared enough to reach out to them over and over again, at least for a while, then eventually they would respond. But so many people give up on them so easily. And we all have lives, and we all ignore messages, and we can't expect these people to live up to some standard that we don't even find realistic in our own lives. So we've all let calls go. We've all let texts go too long. We've all let emails go unresponded to. I hate to say it, but I've done it too. And so we need to have some compassion for them. And then sporadic follow-up. A lot of gym owners, they don't have this stuff systematized and automated, and so they're just doing it whenever they feel like it, or whenever they have time, or they have a spare minute of the day, and they're doing it when it works for them, but not necessarily when it works for the prospect. And so when you do this sporadic follow-up, you cannot scale that, and you cannot make it a part of your everyday when you're just trying to squeeze it in whenever you can. And then you're rushing it, and then you're not really treating people the way that they deserve to be treated, and selling them the way they deserve to be sold to, because you're just trying to squeeze it in for the day. And so trying to change your mind about how to follow up with people in a systematized way that will get them to respond without feeling like they're cattle, then you're going to instantly skyrocket your marketing results. There's no doubt about it. So what are we going to do? Well, this is what successful gyms do. Successful gyms have resources. And I heard a mentor of mine, I heard him say, resourceful people have resources. And so if you consider yourself a resourceful person, then what you need to do is gather these resources. You need to find all of these people who have maybe slipped through the cracks, and you're going to reach out to them again. And when they respond, you need to be fast, fast, fast. There's a Harvard study out there, and if anyone's interested, let me know and I can send you the link. But there's a Harvard study from a few years ago that basically says that if you are not responding to a lead within 15 minutes, then you are dramatically decreasing your chance of making the sale. Something like 80% or something like that. And if you can do it within 5 minutes, then you are well on your way to making infinitely more sales than you would if you're slow on the follow-up. And so this can really only happen through automation. And so having these fast responses, and then being able to respond quite quickly, and not spending an hour on the phone with someone, but just texting back and forth or emailing back and forth, just being able to do it quickly is going to dramatically increase your results. And what we're going to do is we're going to start conversations, and that's what successful gyms do too. And if you think about it, we all intuitively know this. We all intuitively know that the more conversations you have, the more sales you make. And yet, there's always this temptation to try and forget about having an actual conversation with someone and just trying to funnel them into your gym as quickly as possible without ever talking to them, or with limited talking to them, or trying to deal with them as little as possible, because we're all busy. We all have stuff to do. It's hard to spend that much time with each prospect. But if you can just have simple conversations, often this happens through text message, then you're going to make a lot more sales. And so what we want to do is leverage our time well so that we're automating up to the point where people are asking questions and getting really involved in the conversation, because you don't need to do all the back and forth and things like that when a lot of that stuff can just be handled with automation. But you want to be able to make sure people feel heard and feel cared for, and like you're actually interested in where they want to go in life and how you can help them get there. And a hybrid of automation and personal is the key to that. So being able to automate up to the point where people are willing to talk to you, and then personalizing it from there on out. And it's as simple enough in automation even to add someone's first name to your text message as well, so that people just automatically know that you're invested in them because you're using their first name. You're not just sending them a generic email with a link. Hey, thanks for showing interest. Here's where you can find out more. People feel like cattle at that point, like they're being herded through a system. And successful gyms have clear and simple processes. There's no winging it. It's there's a process that each lead follows. They get this follow-up, they get this follow-up, they get this follow-up, and then they get in a conversation. There's no fly-by-night. There's no making it up as you go along. A lot of it's copy and paste. A lot of it is pre-built so that every lead gets the same experience no matter what. And this is the big difference between gyms who have scaled up and have made it to a point where everything is systematized. And if you've ever read The E-Myth by Michael Gerber, it's a fantastic book. You should check it out. They're headed towards a franchise model, even if they're not a franchise. Like if they walked in, they would get the same experience no matter what, and it almost feels like a franchise, not someone just trying to scramble to hang on. And so that's what we're working towards here. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to send personalized texts to about 50 to 100 prospects each day, making them a very simple offer or asking a simple question. So I've done this a lot, and I can say that 50 to 100 a day is usually a good place to start. I've accidentally sent to a much larger list all at once, and it was not a good experience, and I'll tell you a bit about that later. But basically, you're going to send this out. Just keep it simple, keep it conversational, and if they reply, let them know you've got a new program designed to get results for them, and you're wondering if they'd be interested in something like that. You don't want to give away too much detail. You don't want to just dump on them, because we've all experienced that where we're on LinkedIn or something like that, and someone will start a conversation, and then they'll just like copy and paste blocks and blocks of text, and then it just it's a real turnoff, right? So you just want to give them a quick overview saying, hey, I've got this new program. For example, I've got this 6-week program designed to help women lose some quarantine weight and get their mojo back or something like that. Would you be interested in something like that? You just want to find out if they're even interested in the result before you even talk about the specific offer too much. And then if they say, yeah, they'd be interested, or it depends on the price or whatever, then you give them some basic details about the offer and you get them to schedule an appointment. You can do this by getting them to self-schedule on an appointment booker, or that you can just chat with them and get a time that works, and then you can put them into the calendar so that you can send them automatic reminders after that. And then when they show up for the appointments, you can sell, sell, sell. So it's a pretty simple and powerful process, and it doesn't take very long each day to manage these conversations and get people in the door. And then here's some examples. So here's some example texts that you can send to people to show them that you're still around and that you can help them. So the first one is, hey, hi, first name, were you still looking for help with your health and fitness? Ben at Lola's Fitness. I just made that up. That's the name of my dog, Lola. And so that's just my pretend gym I'm using here. But this is a very powerful one that I've used personally a lot of times in a lot of different industries, especially in the gym industry. And it's worked quite well. It's based on Dean Jackson's 9-word email. It's a very powerful thing. There's a temptation to put a lot more in there, but you'll be surprised at the responses you get. Next example is, hi, first name, Ben here from Lola's Fitness. It's been a while, but I thought you might be interested in this. And then you're going to say what your offer is, whether it's a 6-week boot camp or whatever, 10-day pass or whatever you've got going on. Just reply back with yes, and I'll send you the details. Or just tell me to stop, and I won't bug you anymore. So we're just keeping this casual. We're keeping this conversational. We're giving them an option to opt out if they want to. It's very low pressure. And you'd be surprised at the responses you get. Hey, first name, Ben here from Lola's Fitness. I'm putting together a group of folks to lose some quarantine weight and get their mojo back. Would you like to join us? So again, we're just having some fun with this. We're keeping it casual. It feels like a real text. You always want your text messages to feel like a real text because people are tired of getting, BS sales messages and just being harassed all the time. You just want to be a kind of a cool person about it. So what kind of results is this getting? So one I did personally in my own agency was I sent out to a list of about 2,000 people for my client. People he's brought in from various different marketing methods, whether it's Facebook ads or people walking in or whatever. Like, he just kind of gathered up this list and gave it to me. I sent out simple text messages and emails, making them a new offer. In this particular instance, it was a 30-day transformation program, and it was $250. And so using pre-programmed responses to answer these questions, we got people booked for sales appointments and dealt with reschedules, follow-up, all that kind of stuff. So we ended up booking 13 appointments. And you might think, well, 13 out of 2,000, that's not very good. Well, it is if you have a good close rate, because he closed 10 out of 13 because we pre-sold them pretty well before they even came in, and they booked up for appointments, and he got 10 sales out of it for $2,490. And that's not bad. That's nothing to sneeze at. It's not going to make you rich. It's not going to put you in a mansion or anything like that, but it's a good chunk of change for no ad spend. But the real beauty of this is that because he's such a good salesman, I know for a fact that he's going to sell at least 10 to 15, if not more, if not $20,000 in memberships after that, because he's got them in for the 30-day transformation, but he's going to sell them on a long-term membership. And so I did the numbers on what he was charging, and it ended up being about $23,000 in potential memberships on the way that he needs to close, and I'm sure he will. Another one I did personally, had about 1,000-person list for a 9-round franchise, and we sent out, again, emails and text messages to these 1,000 people, and using different marketing methods to bring them in, whether it's Facebook ads or just organic or whatever. I made a mistake. I accidentally sent to the whole list at once. So I sent out 1,000 text messages at once, which you definitely don't want to do because cell phone carriers definitely do not like that, and you might get flagged for something. And also, we got overwhelmed with responses. We had hundreds of responses that me and my team had to sort through. And so I was kind of up late that night responding to people, and definitely not ideal. So that's why you want to pace it out. But it ended up working out okay. So we sent out these simple text messages. We used pre-programmed responses, answered these questions, and booked 30 sales appointments from that. Now, I'm going to admit that I did not follow up on how many he closed, but 30 sales appointments. What would you do with 30 sales appointments? Tell me that, right? Like, tell me what you would do with 30 booked sales appointments. And, as we all know, not everyone shows up, but let's say 2/3 of them show up. 20 people in front of you, how many are you going to close? 10, 15? That's 10 to 15 new members right there without any ad spend. So I was pretty happy about that too. Now we're going to move on to phase 3, which is earning more per member. And so what most gyms do is they sell a membership and they just try to hang on. They don't really have a retention strategy. They just kind of let people float away from them. Or they make an effort when it's too late. So when the person already says they're leaving, that's when we try to make them feel loved and try to get them back. But it's too late at that point. And so with a great retention strategy and a way to upsell to your current members, then you're going to have a much better time and not have to replace as many members. And so a lot of gyms are not actively getting people to stay. They're being reactive to all this stuff. So when someone says they're leaving the gym or they want to pause their membership, that's just being reactive. But if we're getting ahead of it and making sure that they stay by making them feel cared about and also giving them extra value, then they're going to stay. And that's being proactive. So most gyms stop selling to their members. And really what it comes down to is when someone's on a recurring membership, each and every month is a sale. Like, we have to keep reselling these people. Otherwise, they're going to leave. They're going to float off. And so we can't do that. We have to constantly treat them not just like they're a member, but like they're a prospect at all times. And they're your hottest and warmest prospects because they already know you, like you, and trust you. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep our eye on the ball. That's why I've got this ping pong or table tennis image here, is we're going to replace your lost members with current members. Well, that sounds like kind of a cop-out, but that's the truth. If you can keep more members, then you don't have to replace as many members. And so you can overcome churn and you can sell even more to these members and earn more per member so that you need fewer members to be profitable. So if you could make the same amount of money with 100 members with this new way as you could with 200 members, well, obviously that's what we want because they're going to be easier to serve. There's not as much admin work. There's less people to manage. And you're just earning more and be more profitable. And you don't have to pay to acquire all these new customers all the time. You can just make more from the ones you've got. So we're going to be proactive about this. So the first thing you can do as a retention strategy, and also this can lead to new members coming in, is to solicit online reviews. And again, this is something that we all know we should do, but most gyms don't do. And the beauty of online reviews is they get you higher ranking on Google listings, so they can get you into that coveted map pack that you get when you Google something like CrossFit in your city or whatever. It shows up in a map, and you can get in that map by having more listings and appearing like more of a reputable business in Google's eyes. It also gets people to show loyalty. This is a great retention strategy. So this is kind of something that people don't think about a lot, but when someone leaves you a review, that's them putting themselves out there, identifying as someone associated with you. And that's a very powerful psychological tool that you can use to get people to show you that they are loyal to you and get them to stick around. They left you this review. Once they've done that, they feel like they've done something for you and they've solidified that bond. It also gives you a lot of social proof to sell to others. So people are going to come along as they're researching gyms, as they're getting back into it, and they're going to find you, and they're going to read these reviews, and it's great social proof that they can see on Google or on Facebook, and you can also use it in your advertising as well. You can use it on your landing pages, on your website, all these things. You can take screenshots and post them, and really pour some jet fuel on your review system here. And we all know that people are 10 times more likely to leave a bad review than a good review. And so we always want to balance out those bad reviews, because I'm sure we've all got them. If you've been around for a while, someone's given you a bad review at some point, whether they are crazy or not, whether you deserved it or not. It takes a lot of good reviews to average out those bad reviews. And so what we want to do is make sure we're getting a lot of those good reviews to balance it out. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to send this text to your current members. And you might want to space it out if you're trying the strategy from phase 1. You don't want to be harassing them all the time. Or you could integrate it into the phase 1 strategy. And once they refer you to someone, say, hey, thanks, that's great. Here's something else. And you can say, hi, first name, it's your name at your gym. Most members find us online, and online reviews really help people find us. Could you spare 2 minutes to leave a review? Click here. And what you can actually do, and this is really cool, is you can leave a link right to the Google reviews for your business. And so all people have to do is click that link and type out a review. They don't have to find you on Google. They don't have to find where to leave a review. You can actually directly link to that. And that's a really powerful strategy, because you're making it as simple and easy for people to do as possible. And not everyone's going to do it, but you'd be surprised at how many people will actually do it if you just ask them and make it easy for them. The other thing we can do to earn more per member is upsell to members. And so this allows you to earn extra revenue from members. It gives them exciting new value if you're giving them something new and exciting. So it's not just the same membership they've always had. You're always changing things. It feels like a dynamic place that's always got something exciting going on. And you're basically giving yourself a raise using what you've got right now. Let's say you've got 100 members right now. You're going to use those 100 members to give yourself a raise by selling more to these people. And so many gyms leave this money on the table, it's not even funny. So what can you upsell to them? You can upsell them alumni events, additional workshops, challenges, contests, products, and merch. The sky's the limit here on what you can sell to these people. And you want to do it in a way that is systematized, like we said. And so you can call up your members. You can send text messages like we showed you in the earlier campaigns. You can send them emails and get them into these special events. So if you got a special, results challenge, like a weight loss challenge or a strength building challenge or something like that, or a contest where they can pay a little bit more, get some extra nutritional help, and enter a contest, and the winner gets some fantastic prize like a year-long membership or nutrition coaching or something like that, or they get some added value. And this is just the easiest way to make more revenue in your business, is to find something else to sell these people. You can even bring in other businesses and upsell these other businesses' services to your members. So you can partner up with a massage parlor or something like that. And parlor is a weird word. I shouldn't have used that word. But a massage place, you can partner up with them, and so you can refer people to them and take a cut of every sale that they make on massages. You can do the same thing with chiropractors or nutritionists if you don't offer a lot of detailed nutrition advice. One of the easiest ways to make more money is to partner up with businesses that sell to people either before, during, or after your gym. So what I mean by that is people, before they're looking for a gym, they might want some fitness equipment for home, and so you can sell people fitness equipment for home. During, they might want massage or chiropractic to help them with their soreness or things like that as they're getting into shape. And after, they may want extra nutritional help or to boost their results and things like that. And just partnering up with other businesses that serve the same people as you do is a really powerful thing to do, especially in a recession when every business is struggling and looking for more business. Then just these strategic partnerships are gonna do a lot for you. So what you'll need to get started in all this, when I've been talking about in these 3 phases, is you'll need a database of your current members, and a spreadsheet is just fine. A database of former members and old leads. These are also a powerful source of new revenue for you. You'll need a text messaging platform and an email platform. You could do all this manually, like the text messaging stuff and the email stuff, but I made this goofy face here because this is not ideal. I would not want to do that. So definitely beware of that. You'll need something like Twilio, which is a text messaging service that lets you buy a local number that you can send out automatic text messages with. You'll need a scheduler, like a calendar booking system, and you'll need something to integrate all of these platforms to talk to each other. So you'll need something to upload your spreadsheet to send out these automatic emails, to send out these text messages, to schedule appointments, to remind people of appointments, those kinds of things. And so You can also just use Gym Engine. So this program is going to show you how to do all of that. And so earlier I promised you that I would share where to get extra help if you need it. So I'm here to talk to you about that. So what's next? Well, what's next is to do it. Give this a try. If you've got some of these platforms set up, go out and try this stuff and just see the results you're going to get. And then you can add jet fuel to this by running ads. And so what I mean by that is if you're struggling for cash or you just want to replace some of the members you've lost recently, then you can run these strategies, get them back. That's great. But you'll have some cash in the bank that you can then use to add more people to this pipeline by running ads. And we can show you how to do that too. So earlier I promised where to get extra help, so here's where you can get extra help. So I'm here to talk about the Gym Engine program itself. It's not exactly a course, it's not coaching, it's more of an implementation program. And what I mean by that is I like to call it a done with you program. So a done with you program is guiding you along the process on how to set up these campaigns, how to automate them, how to manage responses, how to get people in the door and make sales. And so really it just comes down to that. So the Gym Engine implementation program is based on working with nearly 1,000 gyms using these systems, nearly 2 million leads nurtured, and managing about $100,000 a month in ad spend. So a bit about Gary Griffiths. So Gary Griffiths is the man who created this whole Gym Engine system. And he's a friend of mine, and I've known him for a number of years now. And I just know that he's an ethical marketer. He's got 5 kids, and he's always on the go with family and stuff like that. And so he had an agency at one point that served gyms. And so he's worked with nearly 1,000 gyms and 2 million leads nurtured. And as he was spending all this money on ads and handling all these gyms and really scaling this up at a level that I've not really seen before, he saw some patterns starting to emerge. So he decided to package it up and sell it at a low cost for everyday gym owners to get the results as his clients who are paying far, far more to get these results than you will have to. So Gym Engine implementation program is based on 3 pillars. It's based on client acquisition, client retention, and client upselling. These are all things we talked about in the 3 phases there. And then also the advertising component to get people into this system as well. It takes 10 weeks to get through everything just because of how much there is, but actually the stuff from week 1 will already have you adding 4 to 5 figures on top of your monthly revenue. Our team will walk you through creating and help you implement all the front and back end systems to bring you as many sales as possible for as little money as possible. In fact, most of these strategies don't require any ad spend at all. It's built on these 3 pillars, and the course part covers the following areas. It walks you through how to come up with offers that people actually respond to, how to craft attractive ads that get people to raise their hand and say, yes, I want to know more about this, how to effectively follow up with people and get them in the door and sell them, and use your existing assets like we talked about to get former leads, former members, old prospects, things like that in the door and into your gym and paying you money. And most of the strategies actually require 0 ad spend, and that's where most of the money is made. Of course, there is a lead generation component to it because you always need to bring new people into the system, but it's really the nurturing, follow-up, and retention stuff where the real long-term money is. The Gym Engine system even handles how to set appointments and actually get people to show up, because show-up rates have been a real problem the last couple of years. And so Gym Engine has mainly solved those issues and has gotten a lot more people to show up for appointments, because unless someone's in front of you, they're probably not going to buy. So we'll show you how to implement everything in this video, plus a lot more. Everything is pre-built for you. The campaigns are set up and ready to go. And you can always tweak them to your liking and your specific offer, but out of the box, it's all ready to go. There's also no complicated and clunky software. I've used all kinds of, automation software and text messaging platforms and integrations and CRMs and things like that, and they don't really work that well together. This is all set up in one, and it's very, very simple and easy to use. So Gym Engine implementation program is a proven system for generating leads without ad spend, getting leads with ad spend, automating the follow-up to produce a high show rate on appointments, making sure those leads come in and becoming members, and most of it runs in the background while you're doing other things. So using this system, it's very reasonable to get 10 to 25 new members per month, and those are pretty typical results. So let's say you completely blow it and you get 3 new members. So out of all the prospects you have, out of all the members you have, and you're tapping into all these resources, let's say you completely suck and you only get 3 new members. So let's say you get 3 new members. Let's say you're charging $100 a month. That's about average for most premium gyms. And so that's $300 up front. And you multiply by the average retention rate, which is about 8 months for most gyms. That's already $2,400 you're getting. And so the Gym Engine program actually costs less than that, even if you blow it. So I like to deal in worst case scenarios, but that's basically what it is. And then when you're done with this system, you own and control all the assets. So you own all the marketing materials, you own all of the ads you create, things like that. You'll have added 4 to 5 figures to your monthly revenue at least, and everything belongs to you. And you can run these campaigns forever. You can run them over and over again and compound your results. And so what I mean by that is these are the worst results you're going to get the first time you run it, because it's your first time. You haven't done it before, and you can always dial it in after that and get even better and better results. So this is the type of thing that pays dividends over time. And so the more prospects you get into your system, the more sales you're going to make, the bigger your list gets, the more sales you're going to make, and the results will just keep getting better and better over time. Plus, you get weekly calls, and there's a coaching component to this. So you get weekly calls to talk about how things are going, how to set up your campaigns properly. If you're running into trouble, if you're not getting the results you like right away, we'll help you dial it in, feedback on it, and give you some great insight into how you can make your results even better. You can also run profitable Facebook ads. There's a lead generation component to this. Well, we'll show you how to run Facebook ads to get people into this pipeline. It's not as hard as you think, and it's actually quite simple to set up and run on your own. And there's also a lot more member acquisition, retention, and upsell strategies than I've shown in this video. This is not everything. There's quite a lot more that goes on in here. Even simple things like automating birthday reminders for your members to show them that you care, things like that. Or other additional upsell strategies, and a lot more member acquisition strategies than I'm able to talk about in this short video. So when you're done, you can expect to get some really great results. Here's some results we've gotten. So Cloud 10 transformations, 929 leads in less than 2 months. Habitat Health and Fitness Lakeland, over 330 leads in under 6 weeks. Results transformation, in just 6 weeks, $300,000 in new memberships. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen for you, but it depends on your list size and your list quality for sure. But the fact that, like we said, even if you blow it, you'll still make some money on this. Go Girl Transformation, 90 new members in just 3 weeks, just using these untapped assets. Fantastic. Double DFT in first 3 months. This is a gym in France, and their membership growth was at 0 for months. And before Gym Engine, their only growth strategy was Facebook ads, and their lead cost was climbing and climbing and climbing, as you've probably seen with your gym lately. And basically using these strategies, he's doubled his EFT in the first 3 months and had to hire more staff and started looking for a new facility, and grown from 2 to 4 locations. So if you're looking to actually grow this thing, you need to have systems in place to do that. Overall, 927 fitness facilities grown, nearly 2 million gym leads nurtured, and an average EFT increase of $17,400. Not bad if you ask me. The investment. There's no monthly retainers to run this system. There's no cost per lead. There's just a one-time fee. And there's also a money-back guarantee I'm going to tell you about in a minute. So, the Gym Engine program. It's just one upfront fee of $2,000. That's a lifetime access. It's a one-time fee. And if you don't make that money back in the first 4 weeks of trying the system, you will get a full refund. Because if people are not committed to the results, if they're not invested in getting the results and really going to make an effort at it, then to be honest with you, we don't want them in the program. So only come in the program if you're committed to getting these results, and we'll guarantee that you will. Again, just going to go back to this. Let's say you completely blow it. You pay us $2,000 and you only get 3 members from it. Well, that's still $2,400 that you're making with these new members you're going to get. And so you're already ahead. But we expect the results to be a lot better than that. Like, for example, these folks. They got 100 to 1,000 plus new people for free right away without any ad spend. Linda, City Gym, 162. Bob, Legion Fitness, 230 appointments. Tim, Burn 1000, 122 sales appointments. Joe, Cloud 10 Transformations, 929. The list goes on. Shelton in Australia, almost 3,000 appointments. He must have had a huge list for that one, that's for sure. But you can see, like, this has happened for so many gym owners before you. 15 to 25 new memberships a month is more than reasonable. Matt at the Lift, 859 leads in 4 weeks and over 200 new members. That's a great close rate. 870 leads, 5 times new members compared to last year. The list goes on. Sam at the camp, 53,000 leads in 39 locations in the first 4 months. Using these systems, he scaled up to 109 locations. That's insane. Laska, Dynamic Boxing Fitness, 12 new members in 10 days. Paul at Elite, 327 leads with over 100 new members in 6 weeks. The money's in the follow-up, guys. It's all about the automated follow-up. That's what you need to get results like this. So what's next? Is this right for you? Well, it isn't right for everyone, and I'd love to have a call with you to talk about whether this makes sense for you or not. If you'd like to schedule a call, just tap the button below, find a time in the calendar. If you can't find one, just hit the messenger button, and you can message me, and we can find a time to talk. But I'd be happy to see if this is right for you, because we only want people in the program who are a good fit and have all the assets that we need to have some real success, and we'll go from there. So it was really great having this training with you. I hope you learned something. I hope you got something you can take away. Even if we don't end up working together, I hope that you can take these strategies and get some results on your own, because the world needs fitness right now. The world needs it for the mental health benefits, the physical benefits, the immune system benefits. People need this right now. And if we're not getting it out to them and getting people the help they need, then we're doing a disservice and we're not doing our part to change the world for the better. So anyway, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Tap to schedule a call below. Shouldn't take more than 15-20 minutes, but we can talk as long as you like. If you got questions, I'd be happy to answer them for you. Anyway, hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.